a hawk just literally dove and like stopped in front of the window and then dove off. A hawk.
You think he's a Degrassi fan? He came, he was like, Terry, you look good, girl, and then left.
And then left.
Do you find yourself referring to things as cuckoo bananas?
Are you dreaming of the day Paige Michaelchuk will call you hun?
Are you still wondering, whatever happened to Terry?
If so, you're one of us.
I'm Ari.
And I'm Asha.
And we're two friends who learned everything about life from the craziest school on television.
We'll be breaking down every episode of Degrassi, The Next Generation, and asking the question, does it still go there?
You're listening to
The Spirit Squad Rejects.
Hi, Asha.
Hi, Ari.
How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I'm really hot, but I'm really amazing. How are you?
I am doing good. I'm cold, which is why I have my beanie on. There's a chill in the air, and it's not just Paige Michaelchuk's attitude that I'm talking about. We're starting.
I love it.
Degrassi, The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 4, Eye of the Beholder.
Eye of the Beholder.
Let's break down what happened this episode. So we had the main storyline going on was we really dove into Terry's life, and there's a Degrassi nighttime dance going on. So Ashley got her way last episode. She pulled through for the people who voted for her. She said, if you vote for me, I'm going to give you a nighttime dance.
I'll even get us a night dance. All it costs is a vote.
And Ashley came through. So
which was titled Starlight Starbright.
Yeah. Ashley is pretty much in charge of it. She's hosting, and her best friend Terry doesn't want to go. And it's basically because she thinks that she's too fat for any guy to like her, for any guy to want to go out to her, even though simultaneously we have Spinner, who is so into her, wants to ask her out. But in the meantime, Paige is not feeling it. She is all about Spinner, and she doesn't want anybody coming for her man. And so she low-key sabotages Terry. And even though we talk about how we stand Paige, we do not stand Paige this episode.
So yeah, I don't really like her in this episode. It actually makes me sad. Mm-hmm. But the storyline B, Emma's checking out the new kid. She's like, who's this guy? And she wants to go to the dance.
This episode really focused on Terry. I think last episode we were really seeing her briefly, and it was from the perspective, we saw her within the narrative of Ashley's life. So she came across kind of like Ashley's sidekick. But this episode, we really dove into her storyline, her emotions, what she's feeling. I really like Terry. So I feel bad that this is what she was going through.
I think Terry is like, I think we said this before, she's one of the most underrated characters of the show, but I think she's also one of the most like physically like stunning characters at like such a young age. Like she's just beautiful. It just is wild to me that she was just like, I'm a fat cow, and like just didn't like her opinion. She just thought she was too overweight, and then off the rip, she didn't think people liked her. I
truly think she's one of the most gorgeous characters. Like physically gorgeous characters on the show. And it's kind of ironic that this is like the first storyline that we're getting from her, and this is how we're seeing her see herself, because when that Drake music video came out 2 or 3 years ago, she was stunning. She came back as like a supermodel, and it was like, yes, because this is the Terry that I saw on Degrassi Next Generation. So I was here for it.
And I like the fact that like, so it opens in Terry's house, and she's like, obviously like off the rip, like I'm not off myself. I'm a fat cow. I'm not going to go to the dance because I don't want to. And then her dad's like, you're beautiful. Like, what are you talking about? Don't talk about yourself like that. And that's nice. Even like, you know, like this obviously isn't coming from home. You know, it's coming from outside things that she's seen, that, and this is why she feels this way about herself.
Round of applause for her dad.
Yeah, just amazing. I love him.
But so it really, I think, set the storyline and set the scene for how she views herself and the direction this episode was going to go. But so we finally get to school, and right off the bat, we see Spinner being a douche to some kid. Like, he's just a straight
Doing
bully,
that stupid,
always.
like, what's on your shirt thing. I don't even understand why that was ever a thing.
He's corny. He's real corny. Yeah. Something that you noted was that there was this, it was a nice juxtaposition because you're seeing Spinner kind of being a bully, basically, to someone younger than him. But then you see this nice side of him because he's obviously infatuated with Terry. He wants to ask her out to the dance. He's here for it.
He's here for the big girls. He's here for the big girls. I don't even think she's big, though. Definitely, Terry is not plus size. Terry is very average for a woman. All these other chicks are just too skinny.
No, for real. But so Paige, she is.
You can't call her Queen Paige in this, because she's like running after him in the hallway. Hi, Spinner. How you doing, Spinner? And he is like straight up, like literally, it's almost bad acting how much he's fading her. Yeah, whatever. Keeps walking. Yeah. Okay, see you later. Keeps walking. Like, he literally doesn't even stop to talk to her because he's not off her. He's not, and you see he's into Terry, but he's not into Paige. So maybe he's not into like the big popular girl thing. Maybe he's just straight up not into Paige. Like, we don't really know. We don't even know why Paige is so into Spinner. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
we don't know, but she sure as hell was. Like, hey, Spinner. Hey, Spin. Hey, Spin. Are you going to save a dance for me?
And then her shirt says "Too Spoiled." It's a big number 2, and it says "spoiled" across it. I was like, Paige and her outfits.
The costuming this episode, I have to say, and it's especially because they went to a dance, and we'll dive into it a little more later. Yes. You know, I got to touch on the fashions.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The eyeshadow color, the hair, the shoes, everything that was going on at this dance, just like, it's everything Euphoria wants to be, but never will be. I said it, and I'll say it again. It's everything Euphoria wants to be. Don't come for me, HBO.
But I really like Zendaya.
Oh, no. Euphoria, I love Euphoria, but I'm talking about the fashions. The fashions that they sort of like emulate in Euphoria, to me at least. I get very, in like certain characters, early 90s? 2000s. Yeah.
Early 2000s. No, yeah,
like
definitely.
Early 2000s, late 90s vibe that they're going for. I'm just saying, they should have, if they really wanted like a historical accurate look, this is the episode that you go look at. The way they were dressed in this episode,
it was early 2000s.
It was early 2000s AF. Like, it doesn't get more than that.
Like the tie-dye shirts with the silver lettering. Yeah, that was super. Okay, yeah.
And the shoes. Everybody had the same clogs.
Everyone had clogs. That's what I was going to
say. Everybody had clogs. We're going to dive into Terry's dancing later in this episode because you know it's my clip of the day.
Oh, is it? Is it really?
Oh, it sure is. We'll get there when we get there. But the shoes will come up again. I was living for Ashley this episode, I will say, because she was, I thought, a supportive friend.
I mean, as supportive as Ashley,
can possibly
I don't want to say that. Yeah, so far what we've seen, Ashley is very supportive of Terry in this episode, at least. But this episode, she's definitely like, Terry, you have to go. You're part of the dance committee, but also you're my friend, and I want to make sure you have a good time. Like, whoever you dance with, you're gonna have a good time.
Terry is coming up with like an excuse. She's like, I don't want to go because my dad says I can't go, and her dad was like here for it. Her dad was like, oh, you need me to drive you? You need me to take you?
Yeah. I got you.
My baby, he came out of the bedroom and he was like, my baby girl has a dance today. He did the spike, like, you girls want to drink? He was like, oh, my girl's having a dance.
Oh my God, champagne. No, yeah, for sure. So it was really sad that she was just like blaming her dad. She was like, my dad, and it was so obvious. She's like, my dad wants me to stay home and do chores. Like, as she was saying it, she realized that it sounded crazy. So yeah.
By the way, I don't want to break tradition. I should note, even though my drink is pretty much gone, I should note that I did make a drink.
What's your drink called?
I'm calling this the Terry Tonic.
Oh, yes.
Because we love us some Terry. So we got some vodka in here.
Oh, I'm here for it.
A little bit of some tonic.
Yes.
Splash of blueberry, even though you can't see it because it was such a small amount. All right, so what are you drinking?
So I ordered from Starbucks from the special menu a Michael Chuck dirty chai. I dare someone to go to Starbucks and ask for a Michael Chuck dirty chai. They're gonna either hang up on you, they're gonna tell you to drive away because they'll be like, what is that?
No, what you need to say is, oh, so you don't subscribe to the Spirit Squad Rejects YouTube channel? Because you need to. Link below.
Link below.
Don't fight the people at Starbucks. Get us some listeners.
But
then if they say they've never seen Degrassi, then you slap them across the face. I'm going to briefly touch on the B storyline that you mentioned earlier. I'm only really diving into it because we meet Sean, bad boy Sean. Degrassi really fed into the teen archetype for this one, the bad boy with a secret.
because they introduce him by him riding on the back of his brother's motorcycle just to really sell the point that he's the bad boy. It was very much like,
and then so Emma's feeling it, so she was like, he came in, and you know how I was clutching my pearls episode 1, she was clutching her pearls. He came in and she's like,
who's that? And Mr. Simpson goes, all right, class, so this is our new student, Sean Cameron. Why don't you tell the class a little bit about yourself? And Sean literally goes, no, and then sits down. Like literally. He's like, I wish I was that ambitious in 7th grade.
I have a story. Let me just say, when I was a freshman in college, I had a teacher and she used to be like, if you show up late to class, I'm going to make you sing in front of the class. It was a thing. Whatever. I don't support it. However, it was a thing. So this girl who sat in front of me shows up late. Okay. She shows up late. She goes to she walks into class and the professor was like, okay, so I almost said her name. She's like, okay, anonymous, you need to go to the front of the class and sing happy birthday to everyone. Like she looked the professor dead in the eyes and was like, no. And
you saw my camera shake. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Sure. Now this girl sat right in front of me. I really want to put that in perspective because the professor's talking to her, but it looked like she was talking to me. Mm-hmm. You know, she had never experienced this before, meaning the professor, that nobody had ever like just dead ass been like, no. And she was shocked. She was like, come up here and sing. She was like, I don't care if you sing anything, sing happy birthday, sing 2 seconds of a song, but you were late, so you need to come up here. And this girl was like riding low in her seat too. She was like, I'm not going to. And I'm behind her, cut to me behind her. If this was Degrassi, the camera would have zoomed in on me because I was like,
I would have been like, my tuition doesn't pay for this.
I was shook. It went on for like a minute. It could have been 30 seconds or maybe 15 or maybe 10. But in my mind, it was a minute long. Because I was like, get me out of here. I hate this so much. I don't work well in those types of situations.
No, me neither, man. I hate confrontation, even if it doesn't involve me.
All right. But so Sean Cameron is like the bad boy. And I put that in quotes because I'm going to call his bad boy ass out later in this episode. I almost said Drake. Ooh. Jimmy goes, who we really, to be honest, don't really know well yet. Do you?
Jimmy?
Yeah.
Yeah. We
don't really know anything
friends
about
with
him.
Spinner.
We know he's friends with Spinner. A little something with Ashley. That's all we really know. But so he goes up to Sean, bad boy Sean, who's eating, I think, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I'm like, okay, you're not that bad, Sean. And eat a bologna, so eat a fucking sub. I ate peanut butter and jelly every single day from like 2nd grade to 6th grade. I'm not a bad boy. Never was. You can't be if you're eating peanut butter and jelly. Just saying. So, but he was eating his sandwich and Jimmy comes over. He like makes a joke. Sean kind of like storms off because bad boy, that's what bad boys do. But Emma, let's talk about Emma and the broken neck situation. This is like as Sean is going, he's
Like,
like,
just-
I'm out of here. Picks up his peanut butter and jelly sandwich, the drama, and walks out. And she's like, that's my
Like a-
man.
like full stare down.
Full stare on.
Yeah,
She's been watching his ass. But just something to note on what was happening simultaneously. Going back to the A storyline, throughout the episode, there's little moments between Spinner and Terry that I thought were really cute. They would like exchange looks in class. And it's clear that they're both into each other. Paige is not here for it.
Mhm.
She was like, that's my man's, even though it's not.
Back off.
But she was like, that's my man's in my mind. And you're not gonna comfort him.
Again, Ashley confronts Terry. She's like, you need to go to the dance. Like, and Terry's like, listen, I don't want to go because what boy would want to dance with me because I'm overweight.
Ashley did the best that she could and was like, listen, I'm gonna come over, I'm gonna help dress you up, we're gonna do your makeup, we're gonna make sure you look popping from head to toe, and we're gonna hope that you feel as good about yourself as you can. And little Miss Paige, I want to note that she tried to drag Ashley, who's like, again, doing her best, and she's like, oh, you're gonna give Terry a makeover?
She said, what's the point?
Yeah,
She literally was like, well, for what? But we fast forward, we're in Terry's house.
Mhm.
And they're like, Paige is all dressed up, Ashley's all dressed up. Ashley's like, I go early, girl, let me see you. And we don't get like, a little 80s montage of her dressing up. We just get the reveal. And Terry looks so pretty with her little blue
cute.
skirt, her black tank top, very, very early 2000s.
They all had like purple eyeshadow.
Yes.
She was killing it. Butterfly clips in. Ashley with her eyebrows were thinner than my patient's most days. So I was here for it. That's not even shade. Like, it was the vibe in the early 2000s. They all looked good. Even Paige. I'm not rocking with Paige right now. But in my opinion, I think Terry looked the best.
I think Terry looked beautiful because she didn't overdo it. She naturally is very beautiful. So I think that outfit and the makeup and everything just brought out more of her natural beauty. So I really think she killed it. So Ashley, being the supportive friend she is in this episode, is very much like, wow, Terry, you really look beautiful. You look great. And then Paige goes, like, obviously upset that she looks better than her, goes, yeah, you actually do. Like, verbatim, she says it like that. Wow, you actually do. Mad shade. I would keep that.
And she also, she's basically saying, like, I didn't even think that you could look this good. It's basically what she's saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ashley has to leave because she's responsible and she's the class president to make sure the dance goes well. So Paige is like, oh, I'll catch up with you because I still want to make sure I look good. And then Paige and Terry stay behind as Ashley leaves. So that's Paige's little leeway to sabotage Terry's look. So what she does is she shortens her skirt. She tries to push out her boobs more and make her look like less classy, a little skanky, and then finds the alcohol in the house and then goads Terry to start drinking. So it seems like Paige has a glass of wine, but then she keeps getting Terry to drink just to make her feel calmer because Terry was so nervous, and basically playing onto her insecurities. Like, you're nervous right now. And even, I think she even mentioned something about, I wonder if Spinner will like it. That sends Paige off into a freaking
Can I just
spiral.
note, though, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really want to note that they're drinking sherry.
Oh, that's what they were drinking.
Yes. Don't think that Terry and sherry didn't not run past my mind, because it did.
So Terry was drinking sherry that Paige kind of pushed on her. She was like, you should try this.
She said, hun, the more you have, the better you'll feel.
Yes. That's
exactly. She said that.
She said that verbatim. Hun, the more you have, the better you'll feel. And Terry really was like, you right.
Paige literally poured, I really want to note this out, that like she poured 2 glasses of sherry. This is how strategic she was. 2 glasses to make it seem like they were both going to drink it. And then as Terry's sort of drinking it and is like, okay, I feel a little bit better. Let's be real, she didn't. She was plotting on Terry.
Yeah.
The plotation did not go over my head. And she had the 2 glasses and she was like, the more you drink, the better you'll feel. Here, hands her a second glass.
Yes. So Terry ended up having, I want to say that's a good 2/3, 1/2 to 2/3 of that bottle that Terry had by herself. And then they leave and she brought the bottle with her. I didn't understand what they were thinking. I thought they
I
were,
didn't
I guess they thought they
understand.
were cool. And then they bring the bottle, and you know what was funny? They get to the front of the school and they smash the bottle, and then they go up the stairs. And I'm like, I know someone heard that glass bottle break, because I know Radish is about to run outside to the front of the building. It's
Yeah.
like, who's there? Because that like that it was just ridiculous the way they kind of played that out. But
You're right. So here's the thing, though. It's like Paige fully sober because she didn't drink anything. So you're really plotting on her because you allowed her to bring the bottle with her. Even, and I also want to know, when they were outside and they're walking to the school, that bottle's empty.
mhm.
They could have trashed that shit a long time ago. She let her bring the bottle to the steps of the school. Like, she's not flirting with your man because
Mhm.
you're not dating Spinner. I get it that you like him, but he's not your man. Even if he was, it's like, how far are you willing to bring it? Like, you want her to get expelled because she's showing up with a bottle, an empty bottle, clearly drunk.
You know what song I'm singing in my head as I'm thinking about Paige is World Burn from Mean Girls. Like, I truly feel like Paige is acting like Regina George, where she's like, I will let everything around me burn, and like I'll destroy nighttime dances for us. I'll make sure that Terry gets expelled or suspended for getting drunk. I'll make sure that Ashley gets demoted from her being the, like, she just wanted everything
Yeah.
to burn because
Take her
she
down.
didn't get what she wanted. I mean, to be perfectly honest, like the progression, like nothing else kind of progresses from that point on. It's just sort of like she gets to the dance, she starts acting like a fool. um Ashley peeps that she's drunk and she's trying to hide the fact that Terry's drunk from Radish. She's trying to tell her kind of to act normal. Spinner sees her. Spinner's sort of like, hey, Terry, it's nice to see you. Want to dance with me? But then also is like, you're kind of acting weird. Are you okay? And she's like, oh, I'm fine. And Paige is just loving every minute of her acting like an idiot. And Ashley peeps it off the rip. She's like, why did you let her drink? Why did you, why did you let her bring the bottle to school? Like, why did you allow her to do, like, I shouldn't have left her with you if you were just not going to be a good friend to her. It ends with Terry throwing up in the bathroom, which I know many of us have experienced a
throw
night
up
ending.
situation.
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
Just like reflecting on every time we've thrown up.
I do want to break down the dance situation. There were about, give or take, 15 people at this dance.
No one's parents allowed them to go to the nighttime dance.
I don't know if it was just 7th grade. Well, it wasn't just 7th grade because the 8th graders were there too, because Paige and Terry are all 8th grade, Emma is 7th. So this was open to, if this was open to all of junior high, where the fuck is everyone? Because there wasn't that many people.
Nowhere. They didn't, no one showed up. Like, it literally was like some of the main characters, not even all of them. Because because I don't even think that because Liberty and Ashley were in the front taking tickets. Ashley periodically went inside. You saw Jimmy, you saw Sean, you saw Emma, Paige, and Terry, obviously. But like, then outside of them, 7 more people at that dance.
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
and it was like, oh, let's get punch. And there was still mad punch left. And they didn't have to refill it because no one was at this dance. So,
or the people that were there were just sitting. Like, they weren't
just
even dancing.
standing in the corner. And I guess they were trying to like emulate like what a normal, like,
which is realistic. I could see where, and even though we're coming from 2 different perspectives, Emma's not gay. I'm not spoiling anything. She's not gay. But I could like relate to her at the dance because she kind of comes in and she didn't have any of, ballsy, because she didn't have any of her friends there. Which I don't know if I even would have went.
I wouldn't.
Nobody I know is going. Oh, I'm out. I'm already done. But she went, she showed up, and she's just kind of like walking around, chilling, like doesn't know anyone. She's not talking to anyone. I loved that at one point she went to the snack table. She took 1 Cheeto. And this is no exaggeration. You can go back and watch it. She took 1 Cheeto. She like didn't even bite it. She like tasted it and walked around with that Cheeto for like 2 minutes. She really did. She did. She had one Cheeto in her hand at one point and was just walking around. That can't relate because I would have full Cheeto fingers
No, I
from
would
the entire bowl that I devoured while everybody else was dancing.
pile of Cheetos on my plate as I go back and I'm like, hey, keep dancing. You're doing great. And I'm eating Cheetos at the table.
She
I'm
really did walk
totally
around
about
with
the
one
food.
Cheeto though. Oh,
That's
same.
crazy. The director probably was like, okay, stop at the snack bar. Okay, too much. Okay, keep going. Like you just need to keep walking around.
She really did though. She had one Cheeto in her hand and was just kind of walking around with it. But so while she's there, a fight breaks out between Jimmy and Sean. So Jimmy again is kind of like taunting Sean, being very like coy, and they're referencing this thing that happened, again, the secret that we don't really know about. He like throws Jimmy up against the wall. Very much it was giving me Mr. Simpson episode 1 vibes.
Oh yes.
Up against the wall. And he's like, don't talk, like,
stop biting me.
He was like,
it's bad enough I have to repeat the 7th grade.
Emma is watching this and she was here for it.
She was like, because literally you see her just staring.
Mm-hmm.
Staring. Do you want to dance with me?
Yes.
She's like, you don't know what I've been through in the past 3 episodes. Do you want to dance with me? That's exactly what she did. She was like, we're from the same parts of town.
By the way, she's a sweet girl. She literally just had a shirt on. And
no, she had an orange tie-dye shirt with silver lettering across the chest. And then she had her like strap on like book bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like she had it wasn't a purse, it was like a book bag on her side.
But so there's well, at least she didn't do denim on denim again. And she just strolls on over in the middle of a fight and she's just like, want to dance?
Like he goes, yeah. And then looks at Jimmy, yeah, I do. And walks away to go dance with her.
We love a bad boy with a soft side. The moment where like she's like, hey, want to dance? And then he takes his arm out from under this boy's neck and walks over to the dance floor and they just start dancing. Was the most Degrassi thing ever. But we were talking about dancing, which brings me to my clip of the day. Because you know I always got a clip of the day.
Yes, I'm here for it.
And I really want to talk about drunk Terry, who clearly has never been, the actress herself has never been drunk before, because that is a good point. Degrassi always had teenage actors, which I was here for. It's not like Glee where they had 30-year-olds playing 17-year-olds. And I just really want to show Terry's drunk dancing. Pause.
Okay, Clogs.
You better come through, Clogs. They really tried to make it seem like she's having such a hard time dancing. She was feeling herself and I was here for it. But they really tried to make it seem like she's having such a hard time dancing because she's drunk. Did we ever think maybe the shoes are the problem?
Maybe the fact that there's no ankle support at all.
Maybe the fact that she's dancing in clogs is the reason that she's
I love the ankle bracelet though. I love ankle bracelets.
It's so 2000.
I'll wear an ankle bracelet in 2020.
See, Paige is laughing, but I'm here for it.
Honestly,
that's why I like Paige's
laugh. Look at Ash. Ashley looks beautiful there.
She really did.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Never better.
I'm fine.
You can, underneath the music, I am not exaggerating, go back and turn your volume the fuck up. You can hear the shoes. You can hear the clogs going, hitting the floor like hoofs. Maybe that's why you can't dance.
Yeah, it's probably she's just tripping over the lack of ankle support. Oh, that strap is still down.
Actually, I feel so good.
Kudos to her for holding her throw up until she got to the bathroom. That was like all the way down the hall.
I told Terry not to drink so much. So, did you see me that dance?
Yeah. Yes.
Evil.
Cue the evil look. You know what's funny too is that the music changed when Terry fell, as soon as Paige and Spinner started dancing, the same music started playing again.
So that was my clip of the day. I chose that because I wanted to show Terry doing her thing on the dance floor. I was here for it. But also Paige's very strategic vindictiveness.
Evil, vindictive. The way she looks at her when she walks away is totally like very much like, you look a fool and I got what I wanted and I am Eris, the goddess of chaos and discord.
Mm-hmm. But also for her to straight up say to Spinner, I told her not to drink that much.
Ugh. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Evil.
You actually handed her the entire bottle of sherry. That's exactly what you
Bring
did.
it to school.
Yeah. Smash the bottle on the front steps of Degrassi. That's exactly what she said. It's a sad ending because it ends with Paige getting her way. Like, it's like the end of the dance happens and then it's the, you know, that was a Friday dance. So now it's Monday morning. Ashley's like, are you okay? Terry's like, I'm more embarrassed than anything. I feel like I humiliated myself. You know, whatever. And then Ashley's like, I'm sure it's fine. Like, don't worry. Spinner will still be your friend. And then you see Spinner and Paige sitting on the front steps of Degrassi. And
Miss Paige got her way.
Paige gets her way. Terry feels defeated. She's sad. And I'm frustrated that Paige got her way. I'm upset that Terry, you know, doesn't really seem like she feels much better about herself. So honestly, this is one of those episodes. I mean, the thing with Degrassi is that it's not always like a cookie cutter episode. Like, oh, everything's good. And despite like the past 2 episodes that were sort of like, okay, this is the end and this is sort of how we resolve things. Honestly, I feel like, you know, Paige just was mean, got her way. And this might be a learning lesson for Terry, but, you know, it's still sad that Terry kind of like gets knocked down a couple notches. And it's like, she had to learn her lesson the hard way, but it doesn't seem like she really got anything out of it. It's just, and I don't know if that's really going to help her grow in the long run. It just seems like, you know, she feels worse about the decisions she made. And on top, like if she wasn't feeling good before, she's definitely not feeling good now. Like, I can't even really figure out what the silver lining in this is, aside from Terry really understanding that she probably shouldn't be getting drunk.
And Terry got the short end of the stick in this one. She lost the guy that she was interested in and who was equally interested in her. And probably still has body issues because there was no resolution there.
There was no, besides Ashley saying you're beautiful and Spinner liking her before. I mean, there was really no other support besides her dad and Ashley, and like nothing really changed for her to make her feel like things actually got worse for her, and nothing really changed to make her feel like, oh, I feel better, you know.
Just something to point out too, it's like the themes from this episode, relatable, still so relevant, probably even more, not more relevant, but heightened awareness to these issues because of things like social media and body positivity and fat shaming and insecurities, feeling like you don't look your best because of seeing how other people look in that comparison. So on a theme level, relatable and still relevant. I think even if miraculously the episode had ended with Spinner being like, I don't care that you were drunk, like I still really like you, I don't think that would have fixed the insecurities that she's feeling deep down inside. It would have sort of put a Band-Aid over them. But I think some of the issues that she is suffering from, I think it really has to start with like self-love. And I don't think that that's something that you can put in someone else. So I think it was just sad for me because she wasn't really able to go on this journey that I would have liked to have seen throughout the episode, where it's like I said, a self-love journey of learning that like to love who she is, every bit of her, and acknowledge the fact that she's not fat. First of all, she's gorgeous. She has friends who love her, a guy who loves her. Not that that means because again, it's all about self-love and loving yourself. But I just think it would have been nice to see some sort of journey there.
It's hard though in high school. It's definitely hard when you're surrounded sort of by like it's this period of like growth and change, and forming your own ideas. And so far, her ideas are that she's not attractive. And no matter what your parents say, because no one wants to listen to their parents when they're 13, 14 years old. So no matter what your parents say, you don't really feel that way about yourself. You think your parents are supposed to say these things about you.
The themes are high key relevant.
I mean, yeah. If you look at like 14-year-olds on TikTok and Instagram now, I didn't look like that when I was 14. Like it was it's just crazy to me. I'm like it almost feels like a culture shock, because we look at old pictures of ourselves and I'm like, oh, I didn't dress like that in high school or middle school, and I didn't look like that. So it feels like it might feel like, if you don't look like the people on like for us, it was like, oh, we don't look like the people on the magazines. We don't look like the people on TV. For them, on the people on MySpace. And now for this generation is like, oh, I don't look like the people on TikTok. I don't look like the people on Instagram. And it's like, it's still, it's different, but it's the same. Like we don't have anybody besides Paige and Ashley. We don't really have anybody to compare Terry to, but Terry just off the rip is like, I'm fat, I'm unattractive, and nobody will like me, and a guy will not want to dance with me. And it's like, I feel like we didn't get, I feel like this episode maybe lacked a lot of information about like, why exactly does Terry feel that way about herself? Where are the other people around her sort of influencing her? What is she looking at besides, the world that makes her feel that way? I feel like everyone can relate to some kind of insecurity, whether it's about your weight. Like I'm my period and I'm feeling very bloated and fat. And I went to the beach today and I saw like all these skinny women with bikinis, and I was wearing a bikini and I had my towel over me because I was not feeling very attractive. So even at the age I'm at now, I still feel insecure and I still feel overweight in comparison to people around me. So like, it doesn't really have to be necessarily like a certain place it's coming from. You can just feel that way. I feel insecure. I don't feel attractive. I feel overweight. So, and it's sad because it's at a young age that she's feeling that way. And it's like, it feels like even the writers didn't even have something to put in there to make her feel better. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, this is the way you feel. You're going to keep feeling this way. And it's like, I don't know, it was sad.
I had so many insecurities when I was in high school, a lot. And I feel like so many of them were not resolved. So it just kept festering and festering. And I still have some of them. And it's crazy. I used to think I was like so fat in high school. And I had like such body issues. And I look back at pictures and I'm like, who is that? Because that is a slim figure that is unattainable now on my end. But it's just crazy. It's crazy how you view yourself in the moment. I remember I was dating this guy when I was in college, and he broke up with, well, I guess you can't say broke up because it's like we weren't like an official thing, but we were dating regularly and we stopped because he said that I was too fat for him. And I remember I was like 20, maybe I was like 19, at least 60 pounds lighter than I am now. And no, for real, I like just keeping it 100. I was very slim then. And I remember him breaking up with me. Yeah, because he said I remember him saying he was on like a fitness journey that I wasn't on, apparently.
Sorry.
No, all eye rolls for him. But yeah, so I just feel bad for her. Have you ever done anything, not on the level of Paige Michalchuk, but has there ever been any plotation on your part for someone?
No, I've always been the person that's been plotted on.
You took the L.
No. Well, yeah, I've always been the person that's like, I wasn't the mean girl in high school. I don't even know how to be the mean girl in high school. I don't know how to be I can be mean now. I don't know how to be the mean girl though, if that makes sense.
Let's break down what scene Degrassi goes there. For me, I think what Degrassi goes there is Paige being so crazy that she's gonna like, because to me, I was like, what was your end goal? Getting your friend drunk, having her show up to the school with not a full bottle, but an empty bottle of wine in her hand. That was a lot, because you're really trying to fuck with your friend at this point over a boy. We're not here for that.
The part that Degrassi goes there for me was probably the very beginning, where she goes, who was going to want to dance with a fat cow like me? I was like, ooh, that was harsh. Yeah. But like, I would say stuff like that about myself. Like, I'm ugly, I'm disgusting, I'm fat. Like I would literally say stuff like that about myself constantly. So that kind of hit home for me. I was like, ooh, same Terry, same.
Yeah.
But it's sad that she like, you know, the anger in her is like she truly feels that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it was rough. It was rough to watch and see her go through that. But again, relatable and still relevant in 2020 because I think that anybody who watches it can relate probably on some level. Yeah. Whatever your insecurity was, even if it wasn't about your weight, you know, whatever it may be. If your insecurity is your voice, your hair, your overall appearance, whatever it may be, I think it's relatable on some level to see her go through that. And up to see someone who is her friend trying to drag her down. Don't do it. Guess what?
Be a good friend. Be a better person.
The boy
be better than
is
Paige
never
Michael
worth it.
What did I say? Dump him. Leave him. Leave him. Leave him.
Drag him.
Drag him.
Honestly, though, the boy is never worth it.
Never.
And if you're older, if you're in your 20s, the man is never worth it. Don't do that. Friends over whatever. I don't want to say friends over men, but friends over women, friends over significant others. Like, you know what I mean? It's not worth it. I have one more question. Since we are the Spirit Squad Rejects and we are a team, I want to know from this episode, who is on the metaphorical Degrassi Spirit Squad team of life? Who are you making captain of the team and who's getting cut from the team?
From this episode?
After watching this episode.
Paige is cut. Ashley's the captain.
Captain. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paige is cut. She's gone.
Yeah. That was like nasty. You don't do that to your sisters. So Paige is cut. I would say Ashley could be the captain.
I'm going to make co-captain. I'm going to do co-captains of Ashley and Terry because Terry was led down the wrong path and she could do better. She just needs more of a boost. A
confidence boost. Yeah.
Well, that brings us to the end of another Degrassi episode, the end of another lovely podcast. Thank you for listening. If you watched, thank you for watching. Follow both of us on Instagram for our personal journeys that we're on to see all of the shenanigans of who we are outside of the Spirit Squad Rejects. Subscribe to our YouTube. Thanks for taking a seat at our nasty reject table and hearing all the gossip and tea that we have to share. Thanks for listening.
I need to go eat something.
Same.
Bye.
Bye for now.
This is when I insert a clip from episode 1 about how Ash was afraid of technology. She's listening. But also, if you're going to listen, subscribe. You know what I mean?